So I decided to once again make a new side hustle, right? So basically what happened to me and my friend, which I know from a very long time ago, we worked together at the same company in Belgium here. And basically I woke up, was watching some stuff on YouTube, some podcast, and there was a guy that told me like, hey, we have a company, we are managing over 25 SSL certificates all over the fucking place. You know what I mean? You probably know the drill, right? You have an SSL certificate and that's going to expire and you have no clue when it's going to happen. And you have this on provider X, provider Y, a couple that let's encrypt, and they all expire at different dates, and it's going to be a fucking mess. So right now there is not currently a very good tool to do that. Of course there are, I understand. If your ID doesn't exist, then you're basically already doomed to fail. And but they are very enterprisey, very clunky. These UIs are not. It's just a mess, right? They don't send it to Slack. They don't send it to Teams. It's just it's bad, right? Well, it's bad. It can be better. So I thought, why am I not going to make an SSL certificate tracker, which is going to basically track the expiry dates of all your domains, and it's going to notify you with email, with Slack, with whatever you want, beautifully written in Golang, because we're going to track a lot of these stuff. I think Golang is a good fit for that. So I thought, okay, let's build this thing, and let's build it from the beginning. And I'm going to basically record all my sessions here, all my adventure on my Patreon page, which is, of course, in the link down below. So check that. Completely from scratch, right? We're going to use Golang, Tailwind. We're not going to use any ES framework. Well, we're going to use something special, which I learned from the makers of Basecamp. I want to make things very simple, and I'm going to go with the speed of fucking light to build this. This side hustle needs to be online in a couple of fucking days. That's what it is. And in this episode, basically this YouTube thingy, I'm going to show you some cool stuff. Which we already actually set up, if you can see here, we already set up the complete project with Tailwind. We have this MISC node modules. I did this 100 times and I have a good base idea on how to do that. That's already on the Patreon, so check that out if you're interested. But now I want to show you some tricks about authentication real quick with Fiber, right? So basically, let me close, actually, to be honest, all these things real quick. Hey, by the way, guys, if you like the content I'm providing to you, still 50%, I don't know what it is, it's 50% of the viewers are not yet subscribed. You can do me an enormous favor if you subscribe to the channel. Leave some questions in the comments, give me a thumbs up, jump into my Discord community, all links in or in the description down below. Thank you very much. Let's continue this thing. So close all editors. So let's open up our main file here. So basically we have this thing called handlers with authenticated user. If I go into this, which is basically a very simple thing, right? It's basically a middleware function which is going to check if there is an authenticated user, but it not need to be one, right? So how do you do that? Well, let me show you some cool stuff. First of all, what you need to do if you use Fiber. Why am I using Fiber? Because they have minor little things that I need. First of all, the Django templates, amazing. And then they have things like pass locals to views, which we're going to do now. So, yes. So first of all, what I'm going to do is going to make a new folder here. I'm going to call this data. Some people call it models. Some people call it types. I call it data because it's data, right? New file. I'm going to call this user.go. Package data, right? Then I'm going to say type user structure. And then I'm going to probably use a Postgres database. So we can make an ID here, which is going to be an integer. And then just for now, an email string, right? That's what we want. So basically here, right? What we're going to do is we're going to say C locals, right? And then I'm going to make a constant here real quick, constant. And we're going to say locals user key is going to be user. Or we could also do session. It depends. I'm going to say user, right? And I'm going to say local users key. Why? Because it's just easy to make a constant. If you're going to change it, it's going to reflect all over the place. Just a good practice, right? So we're going to say locals user key, and I'm going to set that to null. The power of nil. A lot of people hate nil. I love nil. Nil is basically my mistress. You know what I mean? If my girlfriend is not at home, me and nil, we're doing amazing things together, right? Yeah, is it an ideal program scenario? I have no clue. I don't know what ideal programming is, to be honest. Nil is amazing. Right, so we're going to set that to nil. Then we're going to do some authentication, right? Of course, that's also going to be on the Patreon page, and I'm going to stream some stuff and make some videos from time to time. So no worries for the people that don't want to give me money. Authentication here, right? Boom. And then we're going to say C locals, for example, is going to be local user key. You could also do some pointer tricks, but let's keep it simple. User key is going to be... Wait, let's first try this with no user, right? Yeah, so because we have this local sting and we set it up in our main that we're gonna have this pass locals to views here, right? Because we have that, we can go to our home template index, actually, our index home here, which already tailwind stuff, that's fine. This is it. So what we're going to do is we can do something like this. If user, right? Where is this coming from? If we open up our, actually, to be honest, you guys not going to see this. Let me open up my handler here, home. The only thing we need to do is pass a map in here, right? We cannot pass nil or something. We just pass a map. And we can give our own stuff if you want, right? For example, error or something. I don't know, right? But for now, it's going to be an empty map. That's important. But Fiber is going to automatically pass our user into our views, which is amazing. So you could make some middleware that with some helper functions, and it's going to all inject that automatically for you. It's amazing. So what you can do is basically here, if user, let's make an end if here, just like that. Then we can actually do something like, I don't know, h1, the user is authenticated, right? And then we can do user.email or something, right? Just like that, and if. And let's make it a little bit more clean, like this, right? Cool. So if we do a make run here, yes, make run, and I'm going to open up this thing here. Let's boot it up for the blind homies, right? This is it. We're going to refresh that. Okay, so there's a problem here, and if not found, I made a mistake. Casual classic, because we have a reload through, we can just do this and it's going to work perfectly fine without restarting. Amazing. So there is no user, right? So nothing happens. Cool. So what we could do is, we need to reboot anyway. We are going to our middleware, right? And we do our authentication here. So basically two things can happen, right? One, the user is authenticated. Right? Or two, he's not authenticated. Not. Right? So if he's not, it's going to be nil. So if we're going to check that, we can check that in our other handlers. Like if user is nil, we know there is no authentication, right? But if the user is not nil, we know there is an authenticated user. So we can set, for example, here, let's say he's authenticated. We can do C locals and data user, just muck one up. ID is going to be 1. And then we're going to have an email here, which is going to be foo@bar.com, something like that. Save that, right? So if we make run right now, right, and we refresh this thing, we're going to see that the user is authenticated and his email is that. Simple. Cool trick. I like it. I love it. This gives me a lot of dopamine. I'm not going to lie. So how are we going to handle these users in our handlers, for example? For example, here, we want to check if the user is authenticated here, right? So what I'm always doing is I'm making a new file here in handlers. I'm going to call this util, go, boom, package, handlers. I maybe go a little bit fast here, guys. I know, but it's YouTube. I need to make sure I put as much content in as less time as possible. And if you think it's a little bit too fast, I completely agree. But you can slow down or pause the video as much as you want. Yeah, it is what it is, right? Because YouTube favors the mosquito brains. You know what I mean? The people with... The faster you can put things out, the better with YouTube. It's annoying, right? I would be here with you for hours and hours and we could discuss and all that stuff, but I can't. So we're going to make a function. I'm going to call this function get authenticated user, and we're gonna pass in here an C, which is gonna be a fiber context CTX actually, and that's gonna be, we're gonna just return a pointer to a data user. That's the only thing we need, right? There is no need to return errors and all that stuff. Embrace null. Embrace null, guys. I'm gonna save here. Fine. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say that the value is going to be C locals like this, and then we're gonna say locals user key, right, like that, and then we're gonna say that the user, we're gonna basically cast that user into a value pointer data user, right? What you could also do is check it here, to be honest. You could, for example, do this user, okay. Can we do that? Probably we can. Okay. Then we can return the user, right? Something like that. And otherwise we can return null, right? So now we have basically this this check on, it's always going to be a pointer to data.user, but you never know. You never know, right? So we're gonna check the cast here, return the user, return null, right? So what we can do in our home, basically here, is we could say, for example, that the user, right, is going to be get authenticated user, pass in the context, right? And then we could say if user is not null, right? Then we basically is authenticated, right? fmt println user is authenticated, right? Otherwise, he's not, right? It's simple as that. So if we make run here and we refresh, user is authenticated, right? But if we go to middleware, right, and we're not gonna set this thing, right? So it's gonna be null. What's gonna happen is, of course, I need to make a run here each time. You see here, the user is gone, and then we don't see any logging out because he's not authenticated. Okay? So you can extend that a little bit because this is now a user. What you could do is make the local user key, for example, a session, and make a session struct with some refresh tokens, access tokens, and all that stuff. So basically, you can check the expiry and automatically refresh. Something we're gonna do because we're gonna use a Google Auth, Auth, and all that stuff because it's easy, right? You can just click and people are logged in. Well, that's basically it. Like I said before, if you like this kind of content, we're gonna go do cool stuff because we're gonna check hundreds and thousands of SSL certificates with Go routines and all that stuff. We're gonna deploy that thing. We are going to do a lot of cool stuff with this SSL tracker project side hustle I'm going to build. Why am I building so much side hustles? The question is, I'm going to reflect back to you. Why not, right? Instead of playing League of Legends, instead of playing Call of Duty, I'm basically building stuff out and I'm shooting to the bullseye. The more I shoot, the more chance I have that my project is going to get picked up or that I keep interest or whatever, right? I have a big graveyard of that project, but that's fine. It's better to have a graveyard of that project than having basically a depression and an obese, whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Like I said, check the Patreon if you want to be involved. Join the Discord. Give me thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. See you in the next one.